Hey everybody, so it's me, Christian, and I'm here with the Swagatron Forever! Little Miss Megan, hey, hey! And today we're gonna tell stories about boys and kind of the messed up things that they've done to us. No big deal.
Because tragically, we are both attracted to men.
Okay, so first story is, it was the beginning of COVID, and I was talking to this boy, and I was I think we're in love. I think we're gonna get married.
Christian situation.
No big deal. It had only been a day or two, And so we're talking, and then it's a couple of weeks pass, and then one night on the phone, he's like, "Whoa, you're so special. There's nobody like you." And I was like, "I know, I'm different. Nobody in the world is as special and perfect and as good as me." And he's telling me all this, and then the next day he leaves me on open, and then we don't talk for a couple of months. And then I text him, and I'm like, "Hey," because I'm crazy. And he was like, "Hey," and then he was like, "Want a link?" And I said, "Duh." So I do a little sneak out of the house. And so I'm hopping in his car, and we're going to his place, and then we're at his place, and we're just chilling. No big deal. And then things got straight for a minute because we started to wrestle. Is that straight though?
What?
It was I don't know, it's so cringy. But it was and then one thing led to another. And then we were doing the good old fashioned smooch. And then I get a phone call. And I look, and it's from my mom. And I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I just went on a walk." No big deal. And she was like, "Oh, get your ass home." And I said, "Yes." And so I'm like, "Hey, we gotta go home." And so then we hop in his whip so he could take me home. And he's like, "Hey, can I tell you something?" And I'm like, "Yes, of course you can." And then naturally he goes, "You're a really bad kisser." I said, "No way."
I would never recover.
"No way." He was like, "You bit my lip too hard, so I didn't like it." I said, "Okay, sorry you're not into the kinky."
Well, somebody would like
Who want me to chop their lips off with my teeth? Who?
Let him know. Not me. So basically, it was 2019. I want to say.
Terrible year.
It was a terrible year. I was a senior, but not in schools, but just so you know the age that I was. And so I was 17. That's what I'm trying to say. Or 8, no, I was 17.
It's taking you a long time
I
to get
was 17, okay? And I was in love with this boy who I met at a church thing. But
Mormon
he
stuff.
is he was so racist, and he was white, and he was mean, but I was in love with him. Classic situation.
Yeah, no big
Pretty
deal.
girl being in love with a stupid man. Anyways, so one night, so we only talked over Snapchat because I'm a pussy and would never meet up with anyone ever because I don't know, I wasn't strong enough for that mentally. And so one night he was like, "Let's sneak out." And I was feeling a little risky, and I was like, "Okay." Well, really, he convinced me because I was like, "No."
She was manipulated into
yeah,
it. No big deal.
Started to think back, I'm like, actually, I don't think I even wanted to, but yeah, he was like, "Come on, it'll be so fun, so good, you will love it." And I was like, "Ugh, well, okay, then you can come pick me up." And he was like, "I can't drive my car because my parents will hear it and wake up and get mad at me." And I was like, "Well, I can't drive my car because of the same reason." And he was like, "Just do it anyways." And I was like, "Okay." And so I did. And so at 3 a.m, I hop in my parents' whip because I didn't have my own car. And I start driving away. And I tried to drive so slow, and I drove with my lights off. Even, just to really.
She was just being rebellious.
Be sneaky,
no big deal.
And then I'm just driving, and I didn't even get down our street before my dad texted me, And he was like, where are you going? And I was like, caught like that. Like that.
No time to waste.
So I texted him back and I was like, I'm getting Del Taco. Because I did get Del Taco quite often, like just late at night. And my parents never woke up for that, but
all of a sudden, when you're trying to be a baddie,
know.
when you're trying to be a woman of the night, like, come on.
So then I texted the boy and I was like, can't come, sorry about it. But it was okay because I think because he was a bad person. He was so racist and he was white and he was mean. Anyways, and so then I did just go to Del Taco and then went right back home. And then I had a better night than I would have if I had seen that boy. I don't know why, I was just like, yeah, that's the one.
That's the one for me. Oh my god, so y'all, I broke my retainer earlier while I was brushing my teeth, and it just broke in half. Bark break.
I need my chopstick.
And crusty lips.
Chopstick.
Anywho.
You see
This bitch paddling! Is she on a kayak or something? Babe, we going home quick. This is how Megan and I would look like if we were riding horses. I've talked about this on the TikTok. And I'm just gonna tell everybody the story in full right now. So I was just in love with him and we were dating and he's my ex and whatever. And so he was my best friend too. And we were at the mall, we were just shopping. And so naturally I was like, oh, this is the perfect place to tell him about how I attempted the other night, right? So, because I told him everything. So I was just like talking about it, like no big deal. And then I was like, you know, like, I just feel like everybody would get over it if I died, but I don't think my parents would get over it, so I didn't do it. And then he was like, yeah, you're right. Everybody would get over it, except your parents, I guess. And I was like, oh, okay. And you know, it took me until I told other people for me to realize that that was not an okay thing to say. And now that I think about it, it kind of like haunts me.
Yeah.
It eats me alive. But you know what happened after that? Man's let out a little toot. And I was like, are you serious? At a time like this? It was really stinky. And I think about that probably like 7 times a day. Okay. Also, I just thought of another thing. This one time, this boy and I, he was like being like sexy in my phone, I guess. And then he was like, if I'm writing you and I say I love you, would that turn you on? I was like, what? I said, let's think
about that.
What? And I was like, yeah, totally. Because, you know, you just have to go with the flow. You know, like they're just doing their thing and you're just kind of like, I was literally like, just like, okay, for sure.
Like, yeah.
Totally.
Super hard.
I would be like, oh my God, I love you too. I love you too. Weird because I don't know if his girlfriend would have liked that, but Megan. Go,
Okay,
Megan.
this is kind of just a story that just kind of is like, wow, that is so Megan of you. You're so silly. So basically, me and this guy matched on Tinder, but for some reason I had him on Snapchat for like 2 years prior to that. So I already like kind of knew him and kind of had decided he wasn't going to kill me if I ever like met up with him. And so I did meet up with him. But the thing about that is I met up with him in the middle of the woods. And I was like, yeah, I trust him. So basically we met up in the middle of the woods and he was like, all right. And I was like, this is like whatever. And then like the next week he was like, let's do that again, but let's go hammocking. But at that point I had decided that I wasn't into him, but I was still like bored. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll go. So we go up into the mountains and he like brings out this hammock and there was one hammock and I was like, the fuck? I'm not getting in that singular hammock with a man that I'm not interested in. And he was like offended, and he was offended, like clearly. Like I could tell he was upset about it, and I was like, that ain't gonna fly with me. So I ran away. And I ran up a fucking mountain, and I fucking sat up there for like at least
No, you did not!
I did. I have pictures. I did a little photo shoot with myself even. I literally was like on this mountain while he was down hammocking by himself for like so long. And then I went down, and then he never talked to me again until he had a girlfriend, and then he sent me bad pictures.
What is with men and with girlfriends in our phone?
I know, and
Like, sorry we're that sexy.
Yeah.
Sorry we're that sexy.
that was my story.
That's Lil Maggie's story.
That's such a Megan thing, though.
That is very
like,
you.
I literally was like, the f***, and I just sprinted up and... Is there any recoil in that?
Probably. That's fat. That's mad
Otherwise,
fat.
I'll be sad.
Edit that out if ass doesn't look fat. Okay, everybody, I hope that you enjoyed watching our video and talking about weird stories with men and us just being ourselves, you know, just like no big deal. Anyway, so you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and everything. It's all gonna be linked down below, and so is my Cameo, and y'all should totally book one. And then all of Megan's crap is gonna be linked down below too. You should already know her, and if you don't, that's kind of weird. Anyway, guys, I love y'all so much. You're all so beautiful and worthy and sexy, and I'm so glad that you're here. You're wanted, you're needed, you're perfect. Mwah. I love you. Bye. Bye.